Good evening and welcome back to the show court at the Janaea Netball Centre. I'm Brittany Carter and tonight on Bar TV we've got the two best teams battling it out in the major semi-final for a spot in the grand final and a week off. The Central Coast Heart and Eastwood Ride Hawks have been the two best teams for the last two seasons. Last year the Hawks won both of their regular season matchups and claimed the minor premiership, but ran out of luck after that and lost the major semi-final and grand final to the Heart. This year we've seen an even split with regular season victories, the Heart winning the first clash in round 6 by 14 and the Hawks their last meeting 2 weeks ago by 12. But Central Coast hung on to top spot on the ladder in the final rounds of competition and head into the semis as minor premiers. Will we see history repeat itself or will the Hawks win here tonight? Central Coast are better prepared after their loss to the Hawks 2 weeks ago. So it's going to be a really interesting clash. Here to help us with our predictions as the action unfolds on Bar TV is Giants midcourter Amy Parmenter. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So good to have you here for the first time. And for such a big clash too.
I know. It's really exciting.
So Heart on the board first. And I believe the Hawks started with the ball in centre. So turnover leading to the first goal. Hawley at the back. Steadies, pumps it through. This is a good start from them, Amy.
Yeah, it's really good. It's going to be tight, I think. You know, there's some really quality plays in both teams and, you know, they've had some really tight matches in the past. So, yeah, it's really anyone's game, I think. And
plenty of players that you'll be friends with in this team here.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. Like, I've, you know, played with most of these girls and I'm kind of a bit jealous I'm not out there with them, to be honest.
Bills can't convert. And so Hawks still looking to get on the board. Grevenitz to Thomas. Walsh coming cross court as Thomas hits the deck. Now Roger finds Kessler. Walsh. Quick pass into Hawley. Just inside the goal third now. Taylor's come all the way out and coming through is Jess Grant, the skipper, leading from the back. Marshall to O'Brien. Oh, that's devastating, isn't it, for Ali Miller?
I think once, you know, Claire and Ali get that connection going, they're a bit unstoppable. So it's good that, you know, Central Coast Heart have started to break it down already.
Now, your team that you've been playing with in the Premier League up in the Opens, I know that you didn't qualify for finals because you've sort of been in and out with your Giants commitments, but they just won the minor semi-final, so whoever loses here tonight faces them next week.
Yeah, no, it was a really good game, actually. I think it came down to 12 in the end, but, you know, the middle two quarters are really close. So, yeah, it should be really good next week, regardless of who makes it and who doesn't.
The Heart up 3-0 and a centre up their sleeve here. This is a great start from them. It also means the Stingrays are out, aren't they? Because they've been knocked out.
Yeah, and they were quite a big contender this year, so that was a bit unexpected. But, you know, good for Fury. It's their first time in the final since Premier League started, so they're really, really happy to, you know, be progressing to the next game.
Styles with a penalty. Uses Davies and then Marshall to get through the mid-court. O'Brien looking over. Davies taking a little specky. She's an AFLW player too.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of training at Giants at the moment. I saw her the other day and she was doing 7 times 1 kilometre like time trial. So yeah, she's a bit of a fitspo.
She's one of the fittest people I've ever seen. Up in the air, Miller takes the feed. And just underneath, she'll steady and shoot the first goal for the Hawks of their major semi-final. Bills to O'Brien in the air. Oh, and Miller stronger. Above head. That's a bit of a switch in momentum. Oh, ball almost won by... Oh, no, turnover there. That was interesting.
Quick 3 seconds.
O'Brien to Miller, who's come outside the circle. Ooh. Now into Bills. Oh, they'll be brought back outside. or just inside the circle rather. So who else are you friends with in this team? Kira Austin, who's on the bench, is obviously a good friend of yours too.
Yeah, she's a good friend. I would expect to see her on the court at some stage tonight.
Oh, nice work.
But apparently Em Bills has been playing really well the last few weeks as well, so I'm not really surprised to see her out there either.
Oh, Kessler regathers the ball after it comes off her chest. Up top, Walsh finds Hawley, fakes, swings over the top, and Kessler plays on with the advantage. Taylor shooting at the back. Fun fact for you, Amy, in that every year of the Premier League so far, the MVP of the season has been a Central Coast player.
Really?
And yet we were talking before the game about how few of them actually play A&L and representative netball.
Yeah, well, this year they had Kristen make the step up to the Waratahs, and she did really well. I know she had an injury for the first part of the A&L season, but then she, made her debut halfway through, and she was doing really well. But yeah, I think because they get to work together throughout the whole season, they build really good connections, and sometimes that's more valuable than having lots of superstars on the court.
Hawks just brought closer to their post with a penalty. Bills giving it to Miller. And the timing of that pass was crucial because Roger was right after it. Roger helping out on the centre pass. Kessler finds Hawley. Oh, swinging into the pocket. That was close. Marshall almost had a hand on it. Lovely work between the midi and the goal attack as Hawley sinks another. 6 apiece. Bill's stuck for the second phase play. Oh, it comes through her hands.
Too quick.
How hard is it to focus and get those connections happening with the eye contact when you've got all this yelling happening on the side of the court?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes, especially Claire, she's got such good ball movement, and, she's so quick that I think sometimes everyone else is a bit behind her because she's so fast. But when it works, it's unbelievable.
Oh, Grevenitz is after it. I think the Hawks expected to get the ball back closer to the post then. Kessler to Walsh in the air. Taylor to Kessler. Running around the back, but Hawley's found space on that baseline. Missed shot. Taylor on the crumbs. And Jess Grant will stand aside. So Maddie Taylor in particular is one of their biggest targets at the back. And she has shot 637 goals so far this season.
Wow.
Yeah, 102%.
Yeah, it's interesting that they've put Nick Stiles back on Maddie and moved Jess Catarara out to goal defence. Oh, she's not Catarara anymore, is she?
No, she's Jess Grant.
Oh, she's Grant. Yeah, because I feel like usually they're the other way around, but maybe that's a tactical thing to try and shut down Maddie because she is such a key player in the Central Coast lineup.
We have seen a little bit of Stiles back at goalkeeper this year, but like you say, I think just a combination switch up. We also haven't seen McLaren come on at any point yet. She might come on a bit later in the game, and she can play wing defence, goal defence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got options.
Oh, Marshall running through. Stealing the ball out of thin air. And Grevenitz again copying her to turn over ball for Central Coast. Latchley they go to Roger. Walsh coming back. Now Kessler pinches it, gives it to Hawley. Wow.
Shot.
For someone so young, she looks like she's stepped up already this match.
Oh.
Off the hands of Tay Davies and Grant hopping, trying to find an option for the next phase.
That's the Thailand national team in the background, having a geese.
Are they here to for some development stuff?
I think so, yeah. They're here to play some scratch matches. I think they played the Sydney Netball Academy earlier today, I'm told, or maybe that's coming up soon.
Hawley, fair way out. Misses the shot, but Taylor snatches at it. Finishes the job. So a change being made here. Bill's off for Austin. What do you think she's going to inject into the game, Amy?
Oh, you know, she's got a bit of everything, Kipper Austin. She can run, she can shoot from anywhere. She's good at rebounding, and, you know, she's got a really good connection with Ali and Claire. All four of us are same age group. We all played state together, so they've all been playing together for years. Should be good. I'm excited to see what happens.
Running through hard for the centre pass is Kessler. Walsh wins it in the air. Puts the feet up, Maddie Taylor. I think she ended up with a penalty there. Hawks force back on the centre pass. Davies looks long into Claire O'Brien, and Miller running through all on her own. Actually too close to the post, has to step back. Thomas to Walsh, stuck in this mid-court. Kessler bouncing to Hawley, and Taylor, how's the connection? That was really lovely play.
So good. You can tell they've been playing together for ages, and they get, you know, constant opportunities to work on that connection.
Oh. So in the same space, the two shooters.
She intercepted it.
Hawks fan in the crowd. Taylor and Kessler just sharing the ball. Nice roll off by Hawley. And Grant is after everything tonight. Missed shot, but Taylor was underneath. However, it's a throw in for the Hawks. Oh, it's gone missing down the corridors of Netball Central. So with 3 minutes left, the Heart lead the Hawks 12-9. Do you think the Hawks can push back here with 3 minutes to go?
Oh, definitely. I think that's just one turnover, but, you know, it's very early days. So I think it's still anyone's game. Oh, good take, Ali.
Seems like there's a lot of Hawk support behind us tonight.
Yeah.
Through the hands of Austin, but Davies regathers. O'Brien with a penalty. Grevenet's too strong in the air, but the ball's just gone for a bit of a run itself, and it's over a third. Styles with the ball for the Hawks. Marshall, Davies, back to Marshall. Strong and hard to Austin up the outside channel. Switching up to the middle of the court. Just turning and throwing the ball. And Miller's brought them back within one goal.
Feels like the intensity's just gone up a little bit since Kira's come on. So, you know, I think it's going to be, you know, up and back because there's such good defence, but also, you know, very accurate shooters. So I think we're in for a very good game.
Which means turnover is, you know, more crucial.
Yeah,
should really be treasured. Our umpire on screen tonight, Hayley Burgess.
Oh.
Miller coming through for the front space. Now Austin, fair way out. In front though, swish straight through. No celebration though, you know, business as usual.
Yeah, very humble.
Hawley overhead, offloads to Walsh on the edge. And airborne they go to Taylor, but there's a step. Don't see many of those at this level. O'Brien, quick footwork to Davies, and now Austin. Marshall returns the favour, and on the edge they swing. Looking in. Roger hits the post trying to defend Miller. And there's our tie team. How awesome. Oh, straight in. They try to... Oh! The post helps out. And the Hawks bench breathe a sigh of... I don't know, I was going to say relief, but I feel like it was a bit of a disappointed sigh. In a way, they could have scored then. So 13 apiece leading into the first break. What do you make of all that action in the first quarter?
Oh, yeah. I think it started off a bit like everyone was finding their feet a little bit, but, you know, towards the end there were some really good, you know, displays of netball. So, yeah, it should be really exciting.
And there's Laura Moore, a player you'd be familiar with, just doing some coaching, considering she's been out this season with a shoulder injury. There's been a lot of injuries this season too, haven't there? Yeah,
across all the teams there's been lots of injuries. I don't know if it's just because it was such a long season with the big gap in the middle, or, you know, sometimes it's just like that, I guess. It goes through ups and downs, but hopefully next year there'll be less.
There were a lot of knee injuries too, weren't there? But none for your team, right?
Oh, touch wood.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. We had Achilles, Teagues O'Shaughnessy did her Achilles early in the season, or like in pre-season. But she's back out now. She's been playing for Manly and she's, killing it. And then, apart from that, we've been okay, just little niggles. We had a rough start to the season because we'd had Bass out with a arm injury and all the international stuff. But, we were pretty lucky compared to some of the other teams that have had a bit of a rough year. But I guess Swifts have had a rough year and they're still, bringing it all together and, in the big dance. So I guess it just shows, like, who steps up when they need to. And, it should be a good game on the weekend, I think.
Absolutely. I think one of the buys of the season has to be Katrina. I'm going to say Rore. I can't roll the R. But
Rore.
You did a good job. I think most people were shocked by that signing, but also, tip of the hat because it was such a good one.
She did such a good job on the weekend. And it's funny, I always think, like, as a wing defence, sometimes you can have a good game and, get very little ball back, but you've completely done your job, and sometimes you can get good balls back but not keep your player off the edge and not shut down that defensive end. So I think, like, I was so impressed. I thought she did so good, and you can tell that she's really leading that Swifts team, and she's showing them some of her New Zealand tricks because it was such good defence.
Well, they're such a young side, aren't they? And I mean, with all those injuries, it just keeps getting younger because they just have to keep finding players to replace all the injuries.
Yeah, but it shows that there's something obviously working because they're bringing all those players in and they're fitting right in. It should be a really interesting game because I think Swifts have got a lot to play for, and they're going to be hungry, and I think Lightning have just had such a stellar season, so it should be a really good game.
I think the thing for the Lightning too is with Nolene Tarua leaving and a bit of uncertainty around Laura Langman too. There's a lot to play for there as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it's going to be some really good netball, and Lightning have the sort of players that just step up when they need to, and I think that's something that's so crucial in a team that you need. Like, I think Carla Pretorius is a freak, and it's just
and signed on for another year.
I know, so cool. So it's really anyone's game. Whoever wants it the most is probably going to get it.
Talk about signings. It was pretty big news that Maddie Hay was made a full-time giant for next year.
Oh, such good news. Everyone's been talking about the video. It made me cry. It was so good.
It made me cry.
I know. Julie Fitzgerald's acting, like, so good.
Oscar?
Yeah,
Oscar?
Seriously. She's obviously got it from her years of coaching. She's got a good poker face, but oh my God, poor Maddie. The first 2 days before they announced it, like, she thought she was moving to England. She was devastated. So
did they put her on that path to lead her off, or?
Yeah, well, Julie messaged her a couple of days before saying, like, oh, can you just come in and have a chat about other options, like. And she fully believed her. And, I was like, surely not. Like, she's been working her butt off and she's played so well in A&L this year, so she absolutely deserved it. I'm so happy for Maddie.
All right, well, we're back out on court for the second quarter of the major semi-final in the Opens, and Central Coast are keen to open their account for the second period of play. Already up by a goal. We were tied 13-all at the break.
Ooh.
Oh, this time Roger wins it in the air, overhead too. The ball was out of sight. Thomas long into the midcourt. Roger to Kessler. Now Walsh looks in, strong and hard to Taylor. Oh, who takes a bit of a fall and loses the ball in the process.
Oh, I don't know what happened there. Was that a contact?
I'm not sure. Well, she wasn't asked to stand beside, so I don't know if it was
possession maybe.
Yeah, or a step, but surely she didn't have the ball.
Yeah.
Either way, Hawks have it. Austin to the top in Davies and overhead.
Oh,
this time the feed comes off with Miller. She's limbs everywhere.
I know. So long.
So turnover for Hart. Already up into their goal third. Kessler with the penalty. Another one on the edge.
Ball.
Popping through at the right time was Taylor. And she fires it inside the net to take the Hart up 2 goals with the centre up their sleeve. What do you make of this start to the second quarter, Amy?
Well, I think, the connection between Maddie Taylor and Kristen Kessler is such a crucial thing for this Central Coast side. They'll just pass to each other all day. And I think Kristen Kessler is one of the most, underrated wing attacks. I think she's so hard to play against.
Why?
She has got one of the best dodges I've seen. I think she comes from a touch footy background, and so she's got a really good dodge, and she's so smart with the ball. I find her very hard to play against.
Brilliant shot from Weston. Well, I'm just looking at Kessler's ankles, and they're all taped up, so I'm wondering if that's because she's
so agile.
Dodging, dodging a lot.
Oh.
Ball won by Roger. Seesaw in possession.
Laura Rogers, another one that's made her Waratah debut this year. And I think it's really taken her game to the next level. It's cool that she got the opportunity and, took it with 2 hands. And now she's obviously playing so well in the Central Coast Hart team. So it just shows, what opportunity can do for player development.
That was smart play from Nick Stiles at the back to ensure that she didn't touch the ball.
Yeah.
But that it went over the back line. Are you friends with Cara Stiles?
Yes, good friends with the Stars.
She's injured at the moment on the way back, isn't she?
Yeah, she's hurt her shoulder. And I think she's been out for a bit longer than expected, but at least it wasn't during it. It was right at the end of A&L, so at least she got some A&L in there before it happened.
Austin, mid-range. Again, no issues at all. And we're back 16 apiece. So the little lead that Central Coast had has already been mowed down. Oh, and that's a step against Kessler. She's smiling. I don't think she liked the call.
Not happy with that.
Get on with it. O'Brien driving hard towards Marshall. Ball with Davies and now Austin. Oh, Grevenitz might have had first possession there. Yes, she did. That's a good matchup between her and... Oh, turnover again. Oh, coming through is Walsh. So Hawks penalty. Yeah, it's a really good matchup between Grevenitz and Miller in that circle because the height's quite similar, isn't it?
Yep, so they can't just chuck it straight over her head all the time. They've got to work it in and try and get it to the circle edge because I think at the moment they're just trying to throw it in from a bit too far away from the circle edge and it's, just making it or, Leanne's getting her hand to it. So, yeah, it's going to make them have to work a bit harder, I think.
Kessler with Hawley taking turns. Now at the top of the circle, she feeds in. Fairway out. Missed shot. Oh, did well to keep it in play. I thought Nick Stiles might have had it then. It's one of your Fury teammates.
Yeah, Georgie Cottle. She's a little wing defence as well. She played really well just in the game before. This is her first year in Premier League Opens as well, so it's been a massive year for her.
Can you tell us about the difference in level from, you know, your Metro League to Premier League?
I think, you know, the under-23s, now that it's a bit older, it's sort of brought the level up, I think. But Metro's always been good because you get the opportunity to play against women. So, you know, it's always going to be a high standard, even if the girls aren't, you know, playing Premier League. There's always girls that are really good, just can't commit to it and that sort of thing. So, you know, Metro League isn't that far behind, especially, you know, now that they've changed the age groups and everything. I think it's a really good pathway now that they've done that.
Well, we've seen a lot of players come from the Premier League into Super Netball teams. So Claire O'Brien, before she was injured, made it with the Swifts. And also someone like Tilly McDonald, so young to be in your Giant squad too, and picked out of, I think, the work that she was doing at New South Wales level, but also in the Premier League too. Yeah,
it's so cool to see how much they're backing all of us, you know, New South Wales juniors. I think it really shows like how the pathway's working, and, you know, they've got the right programs in place, you know, to support the girls that are coming through.
Austin goes in the air to O'Brien, and now coming through traffic into the circle. She puts the shot up herself. Nope, she's going to offload, or as another penalty. So both defenders out of play. We're still locked on the scoreboard. 18 apiece.
What do they do? Will they do extra time, or will it just be count back?
So you know how Super Netball have changed how they do extra draws this year?
Yeah.
So Premier League sticks with the old way in that you both play extra time in your swap ends, so 2 halves. And then after that, if you're still tied, it just goes to 2 goals up, whoever gets the 2 goals in a row. What do you make of the Super Netball way of doing it, now that they've brought that in?
As in, it's just a draw?
No, so for the finals, they've changed it.
Oh, God, I didn't even know.
You didn't know? Oh. I'll have to look it up at half-time and explain it to you.
Yeah, maybe for next year.
I'm pretty sure, I'll look this up and confirm, but I'm pretty sure they just got rid of extra time now, and they just play until sudden death. So just roll on straight from the end.
Oh, as in it's who gets 2 up?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll check that.
Oh, that's good to know.
Before I give you false information. Kipper, long range, comes off the top. Thomas overhead finds Grevenitz, Walsh driving towards her. Now Kessler in the goal third, uses Roger on the edge. Walsh overhead finds Taylor with a split stance and edging towards the post. That was really easy for the Heart.
Maddie just finds the space so well in the circle, and she's like so strong but very mobile as well, so, you know, she's got a whole lot of different tricks up her sleeve.
I'm loving all these matches in the mid-court, the matchups between all of the Hawks and Heart players.
So much athleticism.
Yeah. Hawley double pump, misses the shot. Oh, how lucky is that? Right place for the rebounds and converts the second time. So a little 3-goal lead for them. Davies long to O'Brien. Oh, looking in, but Grevenitz has other ideas, and so does Kira Austin. Oh, call against her for obstruction. Close. Shoulder pass. Marsh to Kessler. Taylor swings on the edge. Having to come back. Taylor's way out of that circle. You probably want the shooter inside, don't you, Amy?
Yeah, it helps.
She's made her way back in there, but it's not without a heavy contest from Nick Stiles. But she's not
confident.
needed. And Hawley, like you say, very confident. 22-18. The Heart looking to push forward one more here. Taylor coming out, uses the pocket. On the edge they swing. Oh, in the air, Davies trying to cause havoc. Wow, what a good shot.
Yeah, she's on a roll.
So they're just having to show persistence in that Central Coast goal third, aren't they?
Yeah, but they've got such good patience, and I think, you know, Kristen is a big part of that. She is such a workhorse, and she won't just throw silly balls away. She'll, you know, make sure there's an option on, and I think they're all playing like that, so it's really good.
I think that person in the crowd summed it up best when they said 2 easy Hawks. That was a pretty good turnover for them. Through the hands of Thomas and into Kira Austins. Running with it now. So something I've just noticed about Miller's game is that she's always edging into the play before she pushes back rather than just trying to find space.
Yeah.
Why would she be doing that?
Well, I guess it means that she ends up right under the post like that every time. And she won't miss from under there, so it's a pretty dangerous place to let her be.
Down low, Kessler feeding into Hawley, and a fair way out. She puts the shot up again.
Oh.
I thought Taylor might have had that
Yeah,
rebound then.
unlucky.
I just had a quick look at Ali Miller's stats. She's put up 430 attempts so far and scored 412 of them this season.
Yeah, she works so hard. She's down at Netty Central all the time. She'll come in her work break and after work and come and put shots up because, you know, she's so accurate.
Running back is O'Brien. Oh, and straight into Miller. Turning as she collected the ball. The Hawks back within 2. Tough contest for the centre pass.
Oh, unlucky.
Bouncing, now in the air. Oh, Taylor recollects. Great awareness. It's so close inside that circle, isn't it? Thomas wins ball on the centre pass. The Heart eager to convert here. Having to use the transverse line. Roger steadies herself, gives it to Walsh. Now Kessler looks back again. This time they lose it. It's going to be a penalty though. Hawley has to get inside. Side of her body, Taylor clings to the ball. And they're back out by 4. What is worrying about the Heart at the moment is they keep getting these little leads and then they're gone within a flash though. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Heart can hang on to this lead they've got happening at the moment there. Nice front cut by Hawley. Pulls the trigger, puts it through. A minute to play before half-time. Austin laterally to Davies. Miller's come out. Rolling off the body and finding space behind from the left-hand side of the post.
She just always ends up so close to the post. I just don't know how she does it, Ali Miller.
Stuck for the second phase. Hawley, free shot, free pass. Gives it straight to Nick Stiles. That was read beautifully.
Yeah, I thought she should have had a crack. She's got the last couple in from there.
Bouncing. Austin to Davies. Little ooh from the crowd. Just outside is Miller. Gives it to O'Brien. Both shooters coming into the same hole.
It's great defense. That was like 6 or 7 passes before they got it in.
And that's halftime, 27-24. The Heart lead the Hawks. What have you made of the match so far, Amy?
Well, I know the Heart are up by 3, but that's really only 1 or 2 turnovers, and they'll be right back in it. So I think it's still going to be close. I wouldn't be surprised if Heart came out after halftime. I mean, not Heart. If
Hawks.
the Hawks came out after halftime,
and,
and got a few back, and it was goal for goal again. So. Yeah, I think that will happen. I just have a feeling.
I've got a feeling.
I've got a feeling it's going to come right down to the last couple minutes.
Well, I'm just looking up at the other court in the minor semi-final for the under-23s. So the Hawks lead the Sapphires 25-24. So it's pretty close up there too. So Fury and the Hawks are the only 2 teams in Premier League to have both under-23s and an open side make the finals. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, very impressive. And I think they both got one in the minor final and one in the major final. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, we might take a little break here. I'm going to check my extra time rule, and we're going to take a breather before we come back for the third quarter. Back out for the third quarter. Hawks with the first centre. And a penalty on the edge. Austin shooting the first goal of the third quarter. Walsh to Kessler. Now Thomas giving it back to the wing attack. Hawley's on her own, but she's not happy with that option. And I can't see any changes on court. Amy, can you? I think it's the same that was running up before.
Yeah, it looks like it's exactly the same lineups.
No changes yet.
Yeah.
So I had no luck trying to look up our Super Netball draw. Ali Miller coming out, claiming the ball.
Take.
What happens with the finals with the draw? I think I'm right, but I've just sent a message off to try and check that that's right. So we'll see.
Maybe if you know, you should post on the bar. Can you do that? Can you post on the bar TV?
Comment on the
comment and we'll have a look.
The difference too. Oh, nice bounce pass to feed in from Walsh to Taylor. And they're edging towards 30 the Heart. On the edge, Davies feeding into Austin around the player. Now accuracy is definitely a standout for the Hawks. Swinging. Kessler looking into Taylor. Split stance on 1 foot. That was smart play from them, Amy.
Yeah, so much space in there. They just, pushing them out to the edge of the circle and then just dropping straight under the post. It's working really well. Classic Kira sweep.
Is she known for that?
She's known for her sweeping.
Not cleaning though, I'm guessing.
Oh, big hit.
I'm not sure who was the instigator then. It felt like a few bodies collided. Davies to O'Brien, returning the favour to the centre. Now Austin looks into Miller and the feed is good. It's all about the weight of the pass, isn't it? Because if it drops right over the top of the defender, then they're okay. You know lots about feeding, don't you? How to prevent it?
Yeah, look, I think the best way to prevent is to keep them as far away from the shooters as you can. Guess it's easier said than done though. Especially
someone like the West Coast Fever right with Janelle Fowler.
My goodness, if the wing attack or centre get to the edge of the circle with the ball, there is no way that standing forward can get up.
It's done.
Exactly. Got no hope.
Oh, won by Walsh. How's the hustle? She's keen to let them know that she had the ball. Oh, but Rogers spilled it a little bit, the opportunity.
Yeah, Davies and Walsh, I feel like they could just run for days.
What's going on here? What's Roger doing? So was it a step then?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
They've got it back, Karma.
Quick into the midcourt, that might have been a step. Walsh up top, straight over to Taylor. And Hawley just acted as a screen then. Little tip from Kipper, can't keep the ball. Oh, again. Down low. Hawley looking long, instead she swings to Kessler. And just allowed to roam freely, Hawley. With both defenders back on Taylor. So the under-23 Sparks who played on this court just before this game, their coach Regan Tweddle was telling me that Jo Harton's been coming to training and giving them some tips.
Yeah, I heard that today.
Yeah, and she's been giving them defensive tips, which I was surprised about. But
she would.
apparently Regan was saying that Jo has a rule and goals for her own game that if she doesn't get at least a couple of intercepts a game, then she's disappointed. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, she is very good at defending. I think she thinks she'd be a pretty good defender, actually. But no, she had some really good things to say about that UTS Sparks team. So they lost just then, though, didn't they? So they'll play the winner of that game up there.
Of Sapphires and Hawks. So Sapphires are now up by 29-28. I think it was flipped before. Close game up there.
Yeah.
There was a change just before too with Laura McLaren coming on in wing defence. So the ball just comes over the side of the court. You can actually see Sophie Halpin behind us too, cheering the Hawks on. Yeah,
she must not be allowed to play for obvious reasons. They don't want her to get injured before the big game on the weekend.
Yeah, Swifts.
Yeah, she played, she came on in the game last weekend and she did really well. It's just such a good opportunity to be able to play finals netball at that level. So
that
cool.
game was insane, the way the Swifts came out of the blocks. I don't think I've seen them play that well in the opening quarter all season.
So good.
Is it hard because you guys are obviously friends, but obviously not,
frenemies.
Frenemies, yeah. Being on different teams for New South Wales.
Yeah, it is hard, but it's funny. It's like a job. Like you got your job, and then you got when you're not working, everyone's friends again. So it's not too bad. Keeps it interesting as well.
Tippy toes on the edge. Miller keeps it in play. Difference 4. Using Roger for the centre pass. Kessler, puts it in. I think it was meant for Taylor, but Hawley cleaned up. And she finishes with a goal. How's that effort, Amy?
So good. I think they're just the balls just look like they don't even look like they have to look at each other. They just are passing it in.
So I've also just spotted Tilly McDonnell in the crowd as well. So the Fury obviously hanging around to see who they'll be playing next week.
Yeah, well, I guess, it's good to suss out your opposition before you have to come up against them. Some good netball as well, so, worth watching.
Played on, advantage taken. And Hart squick. Tongue-tied there. Quick to convert through Taylor. She's come right outside that circle, uses Thomas on the edge. Now Walsh swings to the pocket. Oh, how's Hawley setting herself up? Ka-ching! Straight through. How impressive is that?
Yeah, buckets.
I love how netball originated out of basketball, and yet we still use some basketball terms like dishes off, buckets. Even seeing some layups now with Sammy Wallace and Gretel Tippett.
I was just talking to Ali's mum over there, and she was saying that this same game happened last year, and Central Coast Heart just got through. It was a really close game as well.
Hands from Miller, sees the ball out the side of the court. So what happened last year was the final round, round 14, was a battle between these two teams for the minor premiership.
Oh, yeah.
And Central Coast were on top. And then the Hawks played super well, but also Maria Falau came out and played for the Hawks. And then everyone lost it in here. It was like the crowd around that court 3 was incredible. Anyway, they pipped them for the minor premiership as Hawley sinks another. But then the very next week, the Heart beat them. And then the Hawks got through to the grand final by winning the preliminary final. And then, Central Coast won the grand final too. So it'll be interesting.
So they've played a few times.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of high pressure games too.
Yeah.
Won by McLaren, right place, right time.
Yeah, she gave it to the wrong person, I think.
Oh! How's the intercept from Hawley?
She's playing...
The 2-goal attacks trying to contribute.
Yeah, they're trying to be defenders. They just need to relax a little bit, I think. That's always a good feeling when you're a defender and the attacker's turned it over. It doesn't even get to you. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was talking to Jen Wright, the Hawks coach leading into this game, she said it'll be interesting because Central Coast held on this time and held on to that minor premiership. So it'll be interesting to see whether it swings and how Hawks win this and then get through straight away, or, you know, what's going to happen. Oh. God, that was a heavy landing.
It sounded like her knee went straight into the ground. Straight back up. She's been playing AFL. That was nothing.
Taylor, the ever reliable. All of a sudden, this lead has crept out to 10. I don't know where that came from.
I was wrong. Definitely. Oh.
And that's a wasted opportunity there. Right. It hasn't felt like that, though. No. Really one-sided.
And, you know, this Eastwood team can score really quickly, so, you know, I wouldn't say 10 means the game's over yet, but it's a good lead to have and going into the last quarter if they can keep it up.
Well, speaking with Kat Tetley, who coaches the under-23s Fury, she was saying she has this theory that in elite netball, and especially in under-23s where it's so unpredictable, that you can win a game in 7 minutes. So momentum can shift that quickly. And if you think about how the Swifts and Vixen's game swung so heavily over the weekend, that's a good example.
So it's all about momentum. The calls just go your way when you've got a bit of momentum on your side. I have a thing that I think if you lead 7-2 or 6-2 in the first part of the game, that's a curse.
Really?
Yeah, every time I've been in a game and we've lost after being up by, 6 or 7 in the first quarter.
Okay, so 6 or 7 goals.
Yeah, so as soon as the game starts, if you get up 7-2 or something like that, then you'll lose. But, that's a little superstition I have.
I'm going to be looking into that from now on. I like theories. Inside Hawley's going to take the penalty for the Central Coast. Oh, almost loses it by dishing off to Taylor. Battle for the ball. 2.5 before the final break in the major semi-final. Austin looking into that pocket. O'Brien in the air to Miller. Again, right underneath. 10 goals in it.
I think Eastwood need to turn 1 or 2 over here to keep it.
Oh, God, the bodies are starting to fly everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
Thomas caught in that middle third. Davies to O'Brien. Oh, looks like that came off Welsh, but ended up with Miller. Just prowling at the back. And here's Austin, left-hand side of the post. Fires it inside. There's Sophie Dwyer and Ebony Bernard warming up. Looks like they might come on. Why would they be making those changes, Amy?
I've seen a bit of Sophie Dwyer play, and she's young, but she is so accurate as well. So, that might just add something different to the attacking line. It's looking a little bit like they've lost a bit of flow, but, maybe bringing Sophie on might open something up like that. And then Liv is another young defender who she might come on as well. She brings some height, and she's, very athletic and agile as well. So they've got options on the bench, the Hawks, so who knows what might happen.
It feels like it's a pretty even contest, but somewhere in all that, the Heart got up by 10 goals and that buffer has remained.
Yeah, and because the Heart are so safe with their balls, it's so hard to get a turnover down there, so they need 5, but it's going to be hard work if they're going to get all of them back.
Now that you've mentioned Kessler treasuring the ball and not giving away any bad passes, I'm really noticing it.
Oh, she's so smart with the ball.
5 seconds to go. Hawks trying to tell their players to hurry up and get it through. And Kira Austin scores white on the buzzer. So 46-37. The difference just 9. Heading into the final break of this match. And we are expecting some changes at the back end. Would you be making changes if you were the coach of this side? Or either side, really?
I don't think so. I think for the Hawks, they've got experience in their lineup. So, I think if anyone's going to bring it, it's going to be girls that have done this sort of thing before. And, they've got some good balls back. It's just, treasuring that possession and making sure that they're converting. And then the Hart lineup's looking really strong. And, I think if anything, they're building into this game and their connections are flowing and they're treasuring ball. So I reckon I'd keep both of them. It's a bit boring, isn't it?
No, it's your opinion. We respect it. So, with the Super Netball Grand Final on this Sunday, where are you going to be watching it?
Oh, good question. I've got a big assignment due on that night, so hopefully I can get it done on Saturday and then I can go watch it with all the girls on Sunday.
Just tell everyone back home what you're studying at UTS.
I am studying advertising and law, very slowly at the moment, just part-time, but yeah, getting through it.
And which one of the degrees is more your favourite, I guess, is what I want to say?
Going into it, I definitely thought I'd like, advertising or public communications more. But, I'm actually really enjoying the law side of it. I don't know if I want to be a lawyer yet, but, I like the law side and it's been fun. It's nice to have that variety as well because they're two completely different degrees. So, yeah, it's nice to mix it up.
It's very quiet here. Very different to the under-23s game that was just played before.
Yeah, not a massive crowd tonight, but, quality, not quantity, right?
Yeah, that's right. It'll build. I love coming here on Grand Final Day. Have you been here for some of them before?
Yeah.
Well, you would have played in one with the Sparks early on.
Yeah, I was a bit sad we lost that one.
Sorry for bringing it up. But you would remember how many people turn up on a day and how colourful it gets in the crowd.
Yeah. I remember with Claire and Kira, and I think Kristen might have been in the team as well, but we all played here under 19's grand final and it went to extra time and it was crazy. The crowd was so good. It was one of the best crowds, like atmospheres I've ever played in front of, and that was against Victoria, so it was, it's a big rivalry. So that was a couple of years ago now.
It seems like there's a massive rivalry between New South Wales and Victoria in netball rather than it being Queensland, New South Wales, like in other sports. Yeah,
well, I guess Victoria's just got such a good netball history and they've had so many great players and, they're just always strong. There's never a Victorian team that isn't going to be a threat to your, premiership. So I think that's why New South Wales has probably got a similar history and they've always had the big matches. But, I think I've heard coming up through the ranks, South Australia's been really strong and, Queensland's always a good matchup as well. So it's good that the depth is, there and it's growing.
And even, A&L as well is important too for the growth of the sport because we see people like Sophie Garvin picked up from WA and brought over to the Swifts to play in Super Netball.
Yeah, I remember when Sophie Garvin, she got MVP of A&L the year before she got picked up and we were over there playing against them I think we were third and fourth or first and fourth and they were under us. We were up by 10 I think at 3/4 time and then Sophie Garvin just had the quarter of her life and just played so well. I was just in awe. I was like, someone needs to put this girl in the Diamonds or in a SSN team because she was, unbelievable. So she definitely deserved to make a team after that season that she had. She was seriously unstoppable. She won that game for them. It was so cool.
15 minutes to play in the major semi-final. Who gets the grand final spot and a week off? Who has to play next week? We'll know by the end of these 15 minutes. And those changes have been made. So Sophie Dwyer for the Hawks in goal attack. Running into the circle now. And that looks like it's Austin's in goal shooter.
Yep, Ali Miller's gone to the bench and Sophie Dwyer's on in goal attack.
Why do you think they've shifted Austin into that goal shooting role?
Oh, I think Leanne Gravenich was doing a really good job on Ali. Like, Ali was getting some really good balls, but, I think adding a moving circle would just make it a bit more difficult for them and make them think about it. I guess because the Central Coast Heart defenders get to play against, Maddie Taylor every week and she's a holding shooter just like Ali, so this might make them think a bit more.
The other change for on court is Demi Evans in centre for Central Coast. And she's a player that you would have seen in New South Wales teams before.
Yeah, Demi's, she was a really good wing defence when I was at NSWIS with her, and it's really cool to see that she's playing centre now as well. She's a very good runner, and she's a very good defender, so...
Just laughing at how excited this Hawks supporter bench is, just behind the actual bench. It's good to see how much they love their netty, hey?
Yeah. It makes such a big difference as well when you have people on the bench cheering you on.
Ball off the hands of Roger comes over the back line. And so O'Brien with the throw-in for the Hawks. Austin steadies herself. Switching it up to Tay Davies on the other side. Now Sophie Dwyer's come out. And Austin a little bit closer. Mid-range. So Hart haven't scored yet in this final quarter. But the Hawks have scored twice. It looks like they could make it 3 here. So the ball rolls in for Austin.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly a lead by 10 can turn into a lead by 6, and then it gets interesting.
Kessler on her own, feeds into Hawley. And they have to do it quick too because Stiles is hunting for that ball. Taylor tries to keep it in play but falls over the back line.
She is not happy with that call. I think she thinks she was in.
We might need the replay. Stiles to McLaren. O'Brien trying to give the ball back,
so
but
good.
Kessler sneaking through, stealing it for the Heart. The Hawks are putting everything into this, and we see McLaren with a one hand to grab one
I can't
foot.
handle it. It's all happening.
That was really impressive. In the middle, O'Brien to Dwyer, running back now. And Kira Austin sets up a brilliant passage of play, finishes the job for the Hawks. Back within 5, Amy. How's the passing too?
I just keep making sound effects. I still need to stop.
No, it all adds. Brilliant shot from Sophie Dwyer. Roger to Kessler, stuck passing between the two of them. Now Evans comes forward as an option. And there's a turnover for the Hawks. They're losing their minds over here. Does Taylor win it back? She does. Wow, that's impressive from the shooter. Grant caught out of play. How did O'Brien win the ball back then? It's literally been hot potato netball. The last 2 minutes of play. Dwyer, a fairway out. Sinks a bomb straight through.
So many long bombs tonight.
And there's a change for Central Coast. Walsh and Evans swapping back in that centre bib. Just 3 goals difference. 10 minutes to play.
Unlucky. So well read.
Through the hands of Davies, and there's a hustle to try and win it back, but it does go the way of the Heart. Revenants to Roger. Now with Kessler. Walsh running through, loses it, comes off the tips of her hands and over the back line.
Just going up and down at the moment.
Is this the intensity of the match, or is it the pressure of the match?
I don't know, actually. Well, the intensity definitely has lifted, but I also think there's some getting a bit scrappy. So it's really going to be whoever can, find the composure and the control and finish it off.
Back within 2, 46-44. Turnover here for the Hawks. Call against Alicia Walsh. O'Brien switching sides of the court to Davies. Into the pocket now. Austin with a penalty just inside. Missed though, and Grevenett straight on the loose ball. Driving through is Walsh. I don't think she was ready to take the pass though. Off to Kessler. Roger finds Walsh inside. Thomas to Walsh. She's had her hand in everything leading up to the post. To the top of the circle. There's a lot of whistle being blown here. And what do you make of this? Is this a good thing for the Hawks that they're sort of staggering the Central Coast attack, or is it just giving them, more chance to reset with the ball?
I think, you're not going to get balls from when you're standing behind, and you're always going to get the contacts, but, maybe that's a good tactic, making them, question and think about it, and maybe they need to be pushed around a little bit. That's how they break down that Central Coast attack end, because it's so solid. But, these defenders are doing a good job in the last quarter.
No passes guaranteed.
I know, every ball is being contested at the moment.
Try to go down low to Hawley. Instead, they opt to go to Taylor just behind. The difference 3, 7 minutes to play. A spot in the grand final is on the line. Austin cops a little bunt from Grevenett's outside. Dwyer, 2 pumps and up through.
Oh.
This is more like rugby than netball. On the edge in now. Oh. Comes off the hand, but Kessler has the nerve to grab it, give it to Hawley before
good shot.
Any of the Hawks defenders come back. Time called.
Bit of a towel wipe.
Yeah, wiping up some sweat on the court.
Maybe it's a bit of a, breather. Take a breath, restart.
I think that's what the Hawks thought it was, judging by the sound effects coming from their camp. So it used to be an injury time that was like the tactical way to get a little breather, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But now that, well, that's not changed here, but it has changed in Super Netball.
Yeah.
You have to have other ways to get around it.
Big difference between playing 15 minutes straight and, playing 15 minutes broken up with 2.5-minute breaks in the middle of it.
Kessler having to work really hard, and there's still no options inside that circle. Walsh looking in. Taylor has to come outside. And again, they're still hesitant about putting the ball in. Hawley with Walsh setting it up. It comes off the hands of Styles. So from the back line, Hawley throwing in. Meanwhile, the clock's still ticking down, less than 5 minutes to play and 2 goals different. Free shot, free pass. Hard pass from Austin to Dwyer. Whoa!
She saw it, Nick style, she just didn't go through with it. Hawks are having a crack at everything. I think, Central Coast are doing a good job. All they have to do now is they've got 4 minutes to just hold the ball, keep their centre pass. East would need to get 2 turnovers here to get the lead. So, it's definitely possible, but they've got to keep working hard and stay in play. They can't keep getting called up for all these penalties.
Stay in play was just called out by the Hawks bench, so you're right on the money, Amy.
I get told it all the time.
Hawley over top, Taylor wins the feed, puts it through, and now the difference is 3. Not undoable, Amy, but
definitely not.
Getting harder.
Especially when they're scoring like that so quickly.
Well, we had a bit of a blockbuster finish in the under-23s earlier for their major semi-final, so it would be fitting to finish it off here in the Opens tonight with a similar end.
Oh.
McLaren coming through, wiped out Marshall. Oh, Walsh, sorry, I should say. To the top, Kessler looks in. Edging into Hawley, she rocks back, puts it up, fires it through. The difference 3.
Oh.
Davies with a throw in. Sharing it with O'Brien, trying to get inside this Hawk circle. And Dwyer says, give it to me. Pops it up and through. 2 minutes left. Can they do it, Amy? 52-50.
Oh, it's going to be tough. I think I'm going to say Central Coast Hard are a bit too cautious with the ball and won't give up those 2 turnovers. But, this is finals netball, so who knows what could happen.
Taylor to Walsh through traffic. Up top, they come back to Hawley. And Taylor, too strong for Nick Stiles, wins the ball again. And now they're up by 3, 1:30 to play. You have to say Central Coast have done their job. O'Brien to Dwyer, strong and hard to Austin in that pocket. They switch it up. O'Brien to the top. Nice triangle there. Austin in front. Puts the ball through. Still within 2. The crowd think they can still do it. Walsh. I'm not sure what that call was for there, but time has been held. 1 minute and a clock. Roger to Walsh. Kessler to Hawley. 51 seconds. Just inside, Hawley to Taylor. And that duo proving really strong with their combination tonight. Up by 3, 38 seconds to play. O'Brien straight to Dwyer. 1-2, fairway out. Was going to put the shot up.
Oh, they've got to go quick here if they want to have time to turn it over.
The accuracy of Dwyer is so impressive. I can't believe it. 20 seconds to play. Ooh. Kessler almost loses the ball, regathers possession. Taylor finds Walsh inside the goal third. Now on the edge, they swing into the air. Hawley puts it up and through. 55-52, 3 seconds on the clock. And Central Coast are through to a 2nd consecutive grand final. Aren't they happy about it? A week off and a spot in the grand final to try and defend the premiership that they currently hold. It's been an impressive game, Amy.
Yeah, I think Central Coast Heart just played such consistent netball, and, you know, they were so steady with the ball and didn't, you know, give away too many silly turnovers. So I think that's what got them the win in the end today. Eastwood did a really good job at the end there. You know, they were down by 10 and they came back to within 2, I think, at one stage. So, you know, credit to them for not giving up and not putting their heads down, because it was still a really good game. And I thought it would come down to the line like that. But, yeah, I think Central Coast were always in the right headspace and they looked like they were in control for most of the game. So well done to Central Coast Heart.
Now, I haven't given you any warning about this, but you actually get to pick player of the match tonight.
Oh.
So have a little think about that. And I'm just going to, again, remind you that the Super Netball Grand Final's on this Sunday. And it's important that you watch if you're not up there, because the ratings do contribute to netball being on television. The ABC will also be covering it on the ABC Listen app if you'd rather listen along there. So there's plenty of ways you can support from back in Sydney if you're a Swifts fan.
Yep.
Get
the Netball Live app if you want to watch it from your phone, not your TV.
Yep. That's right. I'm lucky I'm a Telstra customer.
Yeah,
so I can
me
watch
too.
It there.
It's really
good.
good.
It is good.
So was my grandma. I hooked her up with it the other day. She's stoked. She watches all the games. She watches all the replays.
Good on her, being up with technology. Now, have you thought about your player of the match?
Oh, look, I think I'm going to have to go with Hawley.
Yep.
She had such a good game today. She looked so, you know, composed, and I know she's a bit younger than the other girls. So, yeah, credit to her for being such a solid force, and she worked really well with Maddie and Kristen. So, yeah, I'm going to have to give it to Hawley. Is it Tasha or
Tasha Hawley?
Tasha.
Yeah. So you saw Central Coast on screen just celebrating there, and we're going to grab Tasha Hawley and have a little chat with her.
Oh.
We'll be back in a sec. Central Coast are through to their second consecutive grand final after a 3-goal win here over the Hawks in the major semi. Tasha Hawley, our player of the match. What did you make of it? It was a tight tussle.
Yeah, it was really tough, but I'm so proud of the girls that we pulled through. And, yeah, we're off to the big dance, which is really exciting. So, yeah.
So Amy picked you as our player of the match today, so I'm going to get her to explain why.
Oh, I thought that it got really tight in some of those quarters, and I think you were shooting all the long bombs. You looked really composed and got some good turnovers as well. So I love it when an attacker gets a good intercept. So that's why you were my player of the match today.
You are one of the younger players out on court.
Yep.
Do you feel like there's a gap there sometimes? Or?
No, not really. Like, the girls are really good. Like, we're a really good team. We're all good mates. So I think that helps on court, which is, yeah, it's really nice when you're friends and you can get out there and play some good netball. So, yeah, I don't really think there's much. Like, there's a few young girls in there, so it's good that we all just come together and get the job done.
Well, that's good to hear. And a chance to defend your title now, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes, always exciting. Yeah, I think we've got the strength and talent to do it, so just hope we can pull it off.
The thing is, too, that you guys travel so far to be a part of this competition that you get home really late after these games.
Yes.
Can you tell everyone at home what that level of commitment is that you guys make each week?
Yeah, it's tough. Week in, week out, we're all travelling. We all live at different spots. So, yeah, I don't know, you just get used to it. Like, this is my 4th year in Premier League, so I guess you just got to do what you got to do if you want to play this type of netball. So, yeah, not too bad.
Any more further questions, Amy?
Who would you rather play, Fury or Eastwood in the grand final?
I don't know, that's a tough one. I think they're both really strong teams. I I don't know. They're both
Take it
tough,
as it
so,
comes.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Whoever
That's
you
it.
get.
That's it.
Oh, well, congrats on the win, and we look forward to seeing you in the grand final.
Thank you.
That wraps up our coverage here at the show court on Bar TV for the semi-finals, and we'll have the preliminary finals for you next week. Thank you to Amy for joining our coverage for the
No
first
worries.
time, and thank you all for watching from home. We'll see you next week.